Right. Good evening. You are most welcome to this week edition of my show and NDCR on Today Ghana News TV. It's yet another week. Ghana's politics is thriving. Everything is hot in Ghana, considering the latest developments in Asin North. And today we are privileged to come your way once again to give you more information and for us to also have further discussions on what is going on in Ghana. I mean, for those of you who are not very informed in politics, if those of you who don't follow politics that much, I just want to give you a bit of an information on what is going on in today's politics. When you look at Ghana's politics now, those old men, our fathers will testify that things have really changed because the way everything is now, we must go to the court. Everything is everything the court needs to decide. Previously wasn't like that, and today the NDC's Jachi Kwesen, Honorable Jachi Kwesen, has been sued. He's been taken to court, and there are a lot of things that is coming out now. And so we cannot only discuss this without bringing somebody who is well informed, somebody who understands Ghanaian politics. He has a security background. He's a lawyer. He's schooled outside Ghana. He's an activist. He is also a consultant. I listen to him a lot, and for me, he is one of my main role models. I look at him and I'm really excited. My guest today is lawyer Chumberima. He Esquire, and lawyer. It's really a privilege to finally host you myself. I know you've been on this program before, and I was so itching, cracking to be the one to talk to you. And today, I have been able to do that. I'm so excited, and I know that by the end of this program, you would educate people who don't know what is really going on, people who seem to be confused. So you are welcome. So this program is currently being streamed live via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you can also follow us on podcast. It's being streamlined live on Sakina Information Center in Tatale in the northern region. So tell a friend to tell a friend, follow us, bring in your messages, and we will do well to read every message here today. Let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll continue our program.
I'm Edna Sabonia. Join me on Today Ghana News TV for news updates on every Friday at 18 hours GMT. News updates are sponsored by Top Connect. Send money everywhere, no fees. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Today Ghana News TV.
Today's Ghana News TV is 2 years old, and we continue to give you the very best. Within our 2-year period, we have introduced our newspaper, the Evening Tribune. Tribune, when it comes, tribulation, you should expect it. It comes with all the hardcore news items, and we report it as it is, as you see it, and as you hear it. So do make a date with us. It comes out every Wednesday, so Thursday morning is right up there. Get a copy of it and get more informed. Do get in touch with us, and we have any article, we will do the publication for you.
All right, welcome back. We are broadcasting live on Twitter via satellite, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on all Today Ghana News TV. You can also follow us on Twitter and TikTok and also podcast on Anchor FM and Sakina Information Center, totally in the northern region, as I mentioned earlier on. My name is Caroline Osei, and I'm sitting in today for tonight's program. And so we'll go straight to the topic. And our topic for today is the Asenov by-election, the suit against Honorable James Jachikwason. And as I introduced earlier on, we have one of our very own lawyer, astute lawyer, and he's going to take us through most of the questions today. So welcome back once again, Lawyer Chimberima. We want you to please take us through what is happening to James Jachikwason now. We are aware that there is a criminal, he's standing a criminal trial. And so we want to find out how all this came about. Where did it start from? What is going on now? How did it come to this point?
All right. A very good evening to yourself, and I'm glad that I didn't know I have a more or less a very good friend who admires me that much from that end. I'm grateful, and then also very grateful to your viewers and listeners at the same time. What has been happening? Okay. What has been happening is that since 2020, that Ghana had an election around December. That Honorable James Jachikwason came to contest as the parliamentary candidate for Ascend North, for the NDC for Ascend North constituency.
Mm-hmm.
There've been some kind of back and front with his candidature. And right from the very word go that he won the elections, his swearing in became a bit of a heated debate. I remember that night very well. I was live on Class FM. And for hours, our parliamentarians, especially the lawyers among them, were given different or series of legal debates and arguments on the floor of Parliament regarding his swearing in. And since then, he has not been made to rest. The MPC has been on his neck from left, right, center. And they've been doing everything possible to get this man out, and also to, if possible, get the seat back to themselves. You know very well this time that we have 137, every seat lost is a kind of a disadvantage or an advantage at the same time to another party. So that is what has been happening. We went to the High Court initially, and let me explain that parliamentary election petitions or issues surrounding parliamentary elections, anytime it comes up, the first court that has the original jurisdiction to hear the matter is always the High Court. In Ghana, it's always the High Court. And then if the High Court finishes or gives its ruling, and then you are not pleased with the pronouncement that has come from the High Court, you have the right to go to the Court of Appeal for an appeal. The Jachikwason case was a bit different in the sense that at some point, the court has made us understand, I think in the case of Zenata Rollins, that ex-party, Zenata Rollins near Majite case, we were made to understand from the Supreme Court that whenever a court, any lower court, is dealing with any matter and a constitutional matter arises, that court should do what they call stay of proceedings, that is, pause whatever you are doing and refer that constitutional provision to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And when they are done with the interpretation, it comes back to you, the court, to continue with your proceedings and further more your judgment at the end. Unfortunately, in the case of the Jachikwason, we didn't experience that. Even though his matter was purely constitutional, we didn't experience that. So finally, that part got to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court came with an interpretation, which personally, I think the Supreme Court erred, and I don't agree with the decision that they came out with. In the sense that with my experience in immigration practices, I mostly use the UK as an example because that is where I've done most of my work. And in the UK, with immigration practice and what I know, you can, and I'm sure you can attest to that, that when you apply to the Home Office for let's say, a leave to remain application, or even on the EEA applications, they will write to you back. And mostly, even with the EEA applications, you reckon that when they write to you, that letter, even though that is not the official decision of the Home Office, it's sometimes a fiat, or gives you the permission to work in between time before.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So in a very similar way, the education applied to the let me use the similar word, the Home Office of Canada. And then that he wanted to renounce his citizenship as a Canadian citizen. And you and I know that with the moment you return your passport to the authorities, 99.999% of the time, I mean, the response that will come up is that they have granted your request. They will hardly reject your application that they don't want you to renounce your citizenship.
Exactly.
It's very difficult to attain it, but to give it out is very simple and very easy.
Yes.
So he did it in somewhere, I think November 2019, if I'm right. And then due to the COVID, you know very well that during the COVID time, most of us lawyers who practice immigration laws, we had a lot of challenge and backlogs. Even some law firms were not even functioning. We have to lock down, close up. For instance, my law firm in London, around Camberwell, Elephant and Castle area, we closed. Or we locked down, I mean, during the COVID time. And the Home Office was also delaying most applications, which wasn't deliberate, because we were told that the COVID could attack documents. And for that reason, when you submit a document to the court or any other institution, they have to keep it for some days before they can start working on it. And they said, I think if I remember, they said, I think after 4 days that if there was any effect on the document, it might have been off by then. So obviously he had a similar challenge at his end in Canada. And for that reason, he couldn't get his requests on time.
Yeah.
But you see, this is not something that is his doing. And this is why I have an issue with the Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah.
Because the ruling makes it sound like he didn't do something right. But the point is, you can't blame me for take the case of a very recent one, the Auditor General's case, the former Auditor General's case, which went to the Supreme Court. I can say the Supreme Court delayed so much in bringing out their decision. And by the time they brought their decision, the Auditor General has already been hoisted out. So technically, your decision has got no effect on him, even though you seem to say that the decision taken on him was wrong. But it has got no effect on him because the man is no more. He's gone. And I mean, we are meant to understand as lawyers that delay defeats equity. So obviously, that delay in that pronouncement has delayed his equity that he needed to have enjoyed, which is no. All right, and I was very surprised that the court could come to the extent of saying that, because he didn't have the certificate, the emphasis on the word certificate, at the time of filing with the EC, which was around October or so, 2020.
October, exactly, yeah.
Then he shouldn't have contested. But I remember very well this same court, in the case of, I think, Papa Kosindum and the EC alongside Attorney General, the court made us understand that if a party files with the EC, it doesn't just end at the point of having submitted my forms or my application to the EC.
Absolutely.
It moves on to other stages or other levels, i.e. scrutinizing the document itself, because you can scrutinize and find errors with my document. And for that reason, you would like to disqualify me. You have been had that instances in this country. So the process of scrutiny, and even where the court went on to say that even where you find even errors, call me, let me come and answer. I mean, with the rule of the Trump pattern, listen to my side before you make any pronouncement. Obviously, as you will attest to it, whenever you make such application to the Home Offices, as I've mentioned earlier, there will be a response from them. And that response is an indication. It's more or less an intention of what has been done. And there have been numerous times we file up processes and those things. I've done several applications to Home Office and other things on behalf of clients that there will be certain documents that will not be available at the time that I'm making the application. But we make it known to them that this is what I'm waiting for. For that reason, once I get it, I always file it. Last time I remember very well, I was in my office in London and I had a call from the Home Office seeking for a document that more or less has delayed, and it's also delaying their decision taking or making. All right, so we were called to speed up whatever thing that we are doing and get the documents to them. These things are permissible. It's allowed.
Yeah,
it's allowed. Unfortunately, The court seems to be thinking otherwise. And on the other hand, too, it wasn't that even the thing was so, yes, it was delayed for some months because prior to the filing, it wasn't in. But the man had this document before the election 2020.
Absolutely, exactly.
I have a copy of his certificate here. The certificate came in around November 2020.
November, yeah.
And the election was done in December 7, 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if the rule is that you cannot be a member of parliament if you owe allegiance or whatever to another country, the question is, do I become a member of parliament by virtue of filing? The answer is no.
No.
The answer is no.
Yeah, so
lawyer,
yeah, lawyer, I mean, before you continue, from what you've just told us, could it be that from day one, when Honorable Dachi Kwesi decided to file for nominations, and the MPP from day one, I'm aware that they have attacked him from day one, you know, that, yeah, and I don't know why, I can't tell why, but it seemed as though they knew the kind of person he was, and the kind of impact is made in the constituency, and they knew that there was no way they could beat him in the general election. So his trouble started right from the time he decided to file. Could it be the continuation of the plot that started? It's like an unfinished business. Of
course, it is really an unfinished business, because if you hear some of them, some of their lawyers saying that we are not through with you, we are not done with you. When you hear these comments from them, obviously you are meant to believe that it's not just a matter of seeking proper legal redress of matters, but it's a kind of a vindictive act or a kind of hatred that is being portrayed or whatever. I mean, that is the kind of impression any reasonable person can draw. Yeah. Because I remember very well when December 2021, January 7th, when this banter of trying to get him an injunction on him being served, I knew one the lawyer who went to do it. And I remember I had a conversation with him, and I was asking him, Senior, you and I know very well what you were doing was wrong, yet you went ahead to do it. I told him what you were doing was wrong. Yeah. Yet sometimes because of political experiences, we seem to be doing things that seems right in our eyes or to favor our political interests, yet reasonably, and it's wrong. Because if Dachi Kwesi was, I mean, as at 7th December, that is the election day, he wasn't a Canadian. As at 7th January 2021, which he was sworn in as a member of parliament, he wasn't a Canadian. He had his certificate, everything issued to him by the Canadian authorities. Why are we then arguing? Why are we then fighting? Unfortunately, I hear some people, excuse my word to say that, the illiterates among them, excuse me to say that, but the illiterates among them used to be comparing the facts of the Dachi Kwesi's case to Adamu Sakande's case. I don't know where they reach from.
That is where I was even trying. I will come there to Adamu Sakande's problem. You know, it's mind-boggling. You can't understand how fast Ghana's political practices is deteriorating within a very short time. You know, because it's as though there is a calculated attempt, and there are steps that are being executed, I mean, from one step to another. I'm not a lawyer, but from a little layman's, from the little things that I have read, I think there are certain fundamental principles that govern criminal practice in terms of the day-to-day appearances in such an issue, and as compared to the civil cases. I mean, from what I know, the criminal suit, you need to appear in person, and it needs to be sat on within a specific time. And I think that because the MPP knew of all this, they were able to put things together, and with the help of the Attorney General, trying to fast track everything. So what is your take on this day-to-day setting, which luckily for us, has come to an end. But what do you think was the mindset of these people against Jachi Kwesi and the NDC as a political party?
Well, I think that if you are to look at it politically with a political lens, you understand that it's just a matter of trying to cause a distraction for the opponent so that they can bypass and win. That is the only reason I can give politically to it. If not that, with my experience as a lawyer, what I know is that when you go to court and the court want to adjourn, what the court does is that the court goes through the court's diary. And normally when we used to say the court, we mean the judge. The court's diary with you. And when I say with you, I mean the lawyers on both sides, the prosecution side and the defense side.
Yeah.
So what happens is that, let's say the court gives a date, like let's say today is 21st. So let's say the court gives maybe 23rd. And I am the defense lawyer, and maybe I have a case somewhere, maybe on that 23rd, and I cannot appear. It means that that date is not favorable for me. It may be favorable to my colleagues at the other side. Unfortunately, it's not favorable. Or the court we maybe recommend or suggest a date to the court, and the court may also say, "Oh no, that date too is not also good for the court." So normally, what happens is that, but in choosing a date for next sitting, next hearing, whatever, we all get to what the economists will say an equilibrium, a meeting point, whereby all parties, myself, the defense, the prosecutors, the court, and every other person seems to be okay with that day or time. And then the court will make a pronouncement that the matter is hereby adjourned to this date for sitting or for hearing, for whatever. Anything that is due that day will make known as he pronounces it. And then we will just appreciate the court and then leave. Okay? But unfortunately, you see, there is too much politics with this Jachi Kwesi case. And our Attorney General, because he's a political appointee, sometimes seems to forget that, yes, we know we are performing your function as a political appointee, but your role is enshrined in the Constitution. And that same Constitution, per Article 19.3, permits that prosecutions, especially in criminal prosecutions, should be done, or the accused should be present when prosecutions are being done. Yes, there are exceptions to that rule, but the main point is that the accused should be present. General rule, the accused should be present.
Yeah.
I say that. And the rationale behind that is that it is to satisfy that natural justice principle of the utterance pattern, i.e., being heard. I must also be heard, whether or not I'm wrong or I'm right. I need to be heard. My side needs to be told by myself or to the court. Yeah. And to satisfy this policy or this principle, it's important I am present in the court as a defendant. Having said that, the same article, there are also certain rights that are enshrined by that same article, Article 19. And if you go to the subsections of 2, it will tell you that, whenever a trial is being handled, it must be done within a reasonable time or period. Reasonable time or period. And that reasonable time means that a period that is considered fair, a period that is considered just, and a period that is considered appropriate under the circumstance. Fair, just, and appropriate. So if you carry this point or this interpretation, meaning that I've given to you, to what happened, can we say that given that, if not that the court has overruled that thing today, and we have to go by it, that we're going to go every single day back and front, do you think it was going to be fair to the defendant?
No.
The circumstance that he find himself?
No.
Was it going to amount to a just thing for him?
No.
Was it also going to be something that is appropriate for him and for other parties as well? The answer obviously may be no. And I'm very glad the court has rescinded their decision or its decision that it made some few days ago, and that the matter has now been adjourned more or less to a time after the elections.
Yeah, every judge sitting on such cases should have in mind the human rights I mean, shouldn't violate the human rights, because you can't ask somebody who is campaigning and is expected to stand for an election on the 27th of June to be traveling in and out. It's just as kind of an unjust and being done to this person. And I think that it is a way that the MPP and the AG has ganged up to frustrate the campaign of the defense. So
I mean, that point is undoubted. I mean, if you ask me, in my honest opinion, that is the MPP sidelining with the AG to push.
uh, well, we just lost Lawyer Chumberima. We're hoping that he will join us soon. Yes, yeah. Lawyer, you were saying the MPP and the AG, you are not surprised that they are coming together to sideline. Yeah, you were on that point.
Of course. I mean, with the present AG that we have, and from the things that I've seen him doing, I'm not surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, he's doing his political party's bit. I would not be surprised because sometimes I have issues with the way he conducts himself or the way he does his work. I've had issues with him on most occasions. He's a very fine gentleman, but sometimes the way he, if I'm permitted to say that he allow politics to influence his actions, sometimes very bad. Sometimes very bad. I always wish that since he's representing us as a country and he's the number one legal advisor to the country and to the government of the day, at least consider the interest of the citizens as well.
Yeah. And as a younger person, I mean, he's a youth like us,
Of course.
He's young. So,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't expect people who are young and have got more political years ahead of them to be engaging themselves in such, and it's quite frustrating to see the Ghanaian being deprived. These people in Assem North are being deprived of the rightful representation of a member of parliament. For them, they are unable to really put together what they're supposed. And for me, politics shouldn't go down this way. I mean, what's your take on that? I feel sad sometimes, really.
Well, you're right. I mean, if you look at our constitution, it permits that, or it stipulates that every section, i.e., constituency, should have a rep in parliament.
Yes.
And that is why parliament is known as the Ghana, or I mean, if you have to give a literal meaning to parliament, it's Ghana, because it's have every section being represented in except this parliament. This parliament. That, for instance, our brothers and sisters, or our mothers and fathers, or whoever around the Central Kofi, whatever areas in exactly, are not represented. And for the first time, we have a government that seems to care less about it. And this government has truly run 4 good years of a term, or is running 4 good years of a term. And these people that I mentioned were clearly written out. They are not part of this whole thing.
A lawyer and the people who have allowed themselves to be led by people whose voices are crushed. I mean, the voices of the people have been, it's like a vapor.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah.
As someone who is younger and a political active who is into politics and all that, I feel these as not the examples we want to look. And when we will take a short break, and when we get back, we talk about how the narrative of they are communicators and the MPP saying that Jaji Kwesi will be jailed. We will go into that. So you're still watching Today Ghana News TV. This is my show and NDC on Today Ghana News and TV. We are so happy to come your way. I think this topic is quite. I feel a bit sad to be discussing such topics. Because I don't think that our politics should be reduced this way. I think that devoid of the party you are affiliated to, the fundamental human rights shouldn't be trampled on. You see, you shouldn't throw that away and feel that today you are in power, so you can do anything that you want. I mean, power is, as they say, is transient or whatever. Power is not a style. You can always hold on to power. You see. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we will read your messages and then we continue to engage Lawyer Chumberima. We'll be right back.
I'm Edna Sabonia. Join me on Today Ghana News TV for news updates on every Friday at 18 hours GMT. News updates are sponsored by Top Connect. Send money everywhere, no fees. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Today Ghana News TV.
Well, welcome back. We are going to take your messages shortly. We are live via Facebook, TikTok. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on all social media platforms. Share the link to your friends. Today's topic is very interesting and educative. So share the link to your friends. And this is Robert Kimbe, watching from Paris, France. Lawyer always makes it simple for us to understand issues. Fantastic guy. Yeah, I can't agree less. NDC Diaspora Union, watching you on YouTube from Amsterdam, Holland. Thank you, Lawyer, for always making time to explain things to us. You are always on point and educated. Kunte Nana, good job, Lawyer Chumberima. You are really Berima Ampa. We need you more. Watching you on YouTube from Warsaw, Poland. Nana Tafrimo, oh, we are so happy to have you, Nana. You are always here. Lawyer, shout outs from Sakina Information Center, totally. We are listening to your brilliant submission. It's unfortunate the program is not in our local language. I presume that's what you wanted to say, but after the program, we will explain it here. Explain it for us. Tell the people and tell them that they need to galvanize the base, and the whole thing is 2024. We are expecting that DDM will come into power to right all to everything that is wrong. We are hoping that things will be better. Good evening, Lordina Sadiq, our first lady. Yeah, Ali for Fana, watching you from Lyon, France, the communication officer, Paris branch. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ali. Okay, so keep on bringing in your messages. We want to quickly talk about how the communicators are already talking about the outcome of this suit, this trial. And it's amazing to know that people who are not judges could already say what they feel will be the outcome. You know, I am privy to very stern narrative from the MPP that Honorable Jachi Kwesi will be jailed. So, lawyer, in all this, because I heard Andrew Ejapamesa. I heard, I've heard a couple of them. I think Kennedy Japan, I've heard a couple of them saying that he will be jailed. And you know, when you talk about these things, all they do is they attack you and ask who you are, who your father is, and how can you also talk or contribute. But we are the same people who must say it. So don't you think they are being the judges already? That they want to be the judges. Do you think it's all right for them to be doing that?
It is absolutely wrong, especially with the case of Ejapamesa, who is a lawyer and should know better.
Yeah.
But you see, the sad part of it is that those people, the likes of Ejapamesa and co, they forget that politics is what they are doing, and that whatever you see today, tomorrow you'll not be there.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you'll not be there.
Mm-mm.
You sit on national television, and as a lawyer, a statement is what can come out from you. In the case of Yaji question, simply because you are doing some kind of sham comparative analysis. If you have a sham comparative analysis, you mostly hear them. Even before that, even before I go into that matter, you see, there's something that we all need to understand. In criminal prosecutions, the workload is not on Jaji question. The workload is on you, the prosecutor, attorney general, who says, I have committed an offense. You are the ones supposed to do all the work. All the work. Proof beyond reasonable doubt is not on Jaji question. It is on you, attorney general. And when you finish making your case known to the court, having tendered in all your necessary documents, presented your various witnesses, examined them in chief and cross-examined them from the other side and whatever, and then you close your case. At the end of you closing your case, Jaji question through his lawyers now has the right to do what you call either enter no case submission, which is to tell you that upon all the things that you've said from A to Z, they are all nonsense. There's nothing reasonable in it for him to come and answer. And for that reason, he doesn't see you having any case and so you will not respond. But when he enter no case submission, the court need to make a ruling or a pronouncement on that, whether or not there is a case to answer or there is no case. If the court says there is no case, he will just decide, question to go. Okay? But if the court says there's a prima facie case being established, then he will be asked to open defense and then respond to that matter appropriately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let us not forget that. It is until when this matter, or when you, the AG, have been able to prove your matter beyond reasonable doubt, and all from Jaji Kwesi and his lawyers have been able to disprove anything that you said. That is why a court is likely to give any kind of pronouncement that you anticipate to see.
Yeah.
There we are. We've not even gotten there.
It has not been subjected to cross-examination.
We have not even gotten to that point, my dear sister. So if you get people who should know better, they are speaking like as if it's a children from primary school, then you ask yourself, where are those people coming from? But sadly, it's because they like making a kind of wrong comparative analysis with the case of Adamu Sakandi. And let me take my time to explain the two.
Take your time, lawyer.
Adamu Sakandi, his case, the factual difference is very simple. As at the time Jaji Kwesi was in Parliament, as of 7 January 2021, on record, let me say it here. I have a copy of his renunciation certificate. As at that time that he was in Parliament, that he was sworn in that early morning, Jaji Kwesi has renounced his citizenship with Canada. That is one fact. As at that time, he wasn't holding any other country's passport but for Ghana or except Ghana. With Adamu Sakandi, as at the time he was sworn into Parliament, that he was still in Parliament. Those two countries, Burkina, United Kingdom, he still had the certificates, the passports with him. So in his case, you cannot even mention the word an intention to even renounce it, as it can be mentioned in the case of Jaji Kwesi. Because Jaji Kwesi has something to prove from the authorities of Canada, even before his certificate will come in. There was an evidence that he has renounced it, or he intends not to hold that document again. That evidence is clear. He has those documents. Subsequent to that, the registration certificate also came up. How then do you compare these two? But unfortunately, their members of parliament, their lawyers, and whatever keep saying that because it was done to the Musa Kandi, it's going to be done to Judge Kwesi. Then I ask myself, is it because you guys are, academically corrupt or what? Or legally corrupt or what? I don't get it.
Yeah.
If you're not legally corrupt,
yeah.
and if you're not academically corrupt, I wonder why you make this kind of some argument or some analysis. Because they are not the same. Any lawyer who knows this matter that I've said here will side with me. The two are not the same. The facts of the case are not the same. The facts of the case are not the same. Judge Kwesi was not having two different passports. He had one, Canada one. Sakande had two.
Pascal had three.
You understand? So, I still don't get where they are coming from. But you see, whatever thing that they have, whatever intention that they have, they should remember one thing. There's a local adage which goes like, it's as simple as that.
Please explain.
So whatever you are doing today, remember that tomorrow that thing that you are holding on to, which you think is making you powerful, will leave you. It is that you leave it voluntarily or the thing will leave you by force. It will come out. There's market on the wall. I always tell my medium that this is that you people think you are doing that you think is now powerful. Don't forget your days are numbered. You are counting your days, and the day that you will fall down, if you're not lucky, you not even get somebody to even help you to even stand, than to even think of walking.
I don't know whether they are considering that, because you see, from the way things are going, it's as though there is no tomorrow. It's as though they are assured of something. There is something that, just as the adage goes that before a blind man says he will throw a stone at you, he has his leg on something. But they forget that the leg he can trip and fall on with the same stone. The elders always say that. But they've forgotten that before the blind man goes down to pick, the same stone can trip the person. You see, so I don't get it, but I feel that they've taken an entrenched position that they really want to take Ghana on a certain path, and that is to destroy the country. And for me, I feel that the people of Ghana must rise up, you see, because if you are already pronouncing judgment with the caliber of people you feel you can learn from, and they are still doing this. But fortunately for us, our lead lawyer, our lead counsel, lawyer Chikata, has been able to get some success story. Can you tell us what's new now and what you want to say to the Asen North, the people of Asen North? What went on court
so
today?
What happened today was that they went to court on the same Asen North matter. And if you remember, there was an application that was filed to review this decision that was taken by the court, and also to prompt the court of certain, negative comments or abusive comment or disrespectful comment that was passed by the Attorney General, who should know that. So my most learned senior and then a role model for that matter, Mr. Chachukata, did the needful by asking his second in command, or the colleague that he's doing the case with, to file that process, and it was filed. And today they went. And by the grace of God, the court has pronounced that that constant hearing or everyday hearing that was earlier directed has been received, and that is no more going to be that. I think the next hearing, I'm not too certain of the date, but it's definitely going to be after.
It's on Friday. The next hearing will be on Friday, and then that's what I hear that the judge said, that he's going to pronounce judgment whether or not it's going to allow Jachikwesin to stay out of the court until whether he's going to come every day. I think that's what is going on. You're still watching Today Ghana News TV, and we've been having a very nice and beautiful discussion with lawyer Chumberima. He's taken us through a lot. We want to take a few of your comments, and when we come back, we will conclude. And if you haven't shared the link yet, share it to your friends and let them come and listen. We will read the messages now. Keep on bringing it in your messages now. And then when we finish reading, we'll go for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll conclude for tonight's program.
I'm Edna Sabonia. Join me on Today Ghana News TV for news updates on every Friday at 18 hours GMT. News updates are sponsored by Top Connect. Send money everywhere, no fees. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Today Ghana News TV.
Yo palache, tete.
Drama eh.
Ilo eche.
Papa ne na mbeshi lata konta mi ni free bank.
Elele for na eh.
For na for onye gbemi score. Ba papa ni lata ta mi ni ebo kan wo jira po aye ko. Minister no ba nye ba disturb me neke. Na nye ji ade nye.
Well, well, this woman always such. When you listen to her, you just laugh. And welcome back once again. Keep on bringing in your messages. Before we let lawyer go, we'll just read your messages quickly. Lawyer, please, our big brother, help us. So these MPP people have a very bad agenda. They have very bad agenda. This is from Grace Talks. Good evening, Comrade Caroline. Good job. That's Grace Talks. And then Ali Fofana, the MPP want to have the majority in parliament by all means so that they can be able to pass the LGBTQI law. Patient Dark, watching you live from Hamburg, Germany, watching and listening to you attentively. Great show. Thank you very much, Patience. Yes. Lawyer, before we let you go, we know that Ascend North is like, right now, is kind of the hottest place in Ghana. Ascend North is trending, you know. Ascend North has become special hub of every politician, and we are hoping to retain the seat at the NDC. And we know that Honorable Jachikwesin has the goodwill. What will you leave with our base as the NDC? What are you going to tell the Ascend North? What are you going to tell everybody as an NDC member to really encourage them? Because I'm sure by now, from what the troubles these people have taken Jachikwesin through, I'm sure most people, if are not really encouraged, might even give up. So in your conclusion, I mean, what are you telling us? What you have for your people?
Yeah, what I would tell the good people of Ascend North constituency is that, one, on the day of election, which is coming Tuesday, no one should stay back. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, once you voted in 2020 and you have that right to vote again, please exercise that right. Come out in your numbers and vote massively, massively. Show your solidarity, show your support, show everything that you have to Honorable Jachikwesin. Give him that nod that you gave him again to go. He's the fit and proper man to lead you people in that constituency. Don't vote for, a party, someone who is just coming to seek his selfish interest, and for that reason, they have brought him from somewhere to come and lead you people. Go for your own. Go for the one who is with you, the one who has stand by you, even when he's being maltreated and manhandled by the arms of the wicked, i.e. the NPP government. He is still pushing and still doing everything possible within his means to assist and support the people or the good people of Osei North. You guys can attest to it far better than we do. On the day of election, go out in your numbers and vote for him. Again, I want to assure every NDC person in that region, in that constituency, that there will be nothing like Reagan. Forget. There will be nothing like Reagan. If you vote one, it will be one. One can never turn to 1 and 0. Or one can never turn to 2. It is going to be 1 to 1 till we finish, and every vote will be counted decently. We are very ready. We are going there with our numbers or in our numbers from every angle. Some of the things I cannot even disclose here. It's not the right forum to disclose. But I can say without fear that there can't be rigging at Osei North. Nobody can rig. Nobody can rig. We will all come out with the votes that we have all gotten. For 20, we are coming out with 20. Nobody will come out with any extra vote.
Don't you think that I saw a video this afternoon, so many cars with lots of food.
Those things are for the Osei North people. It is their own right. It's their food. It's their money. It's their taxes. And people don't have money on his own. He doesn't have anything to buy anything for them. Anything that they are bringing there, from agricultural products to whatever, is your own money that they are used to buy them. Take it, use it, but vote against them.
Do you think it can? Do you think it can change the mind of the people? Do you think
it can happen? I've told them, they know. Monday, I said this on Asampa FM to one of the MPs who came there, that nothing will change. If you are thinking of anything spectacular, something wonderful, something miraculous to happen in Osei North, we are just going to waste time. We will come out with flying colors on the day. There will not be anything.
What are you ready for anything? Is the NDC prepared? Because we've heard that there are some security personnel with masks on their faces. I heard
they can't go and do it. Don't mind them. You see, it is hard time. A time I have been in the service before, and these things, it's not always that you imagine me now in maybe a police uniform that you are giving me orders. I'm an NDC person. So you think I always follow your orders that you give me? No, the rule is obey lawful instructions, not unlawful ones. So even though
NDC persons, and yet the Ayawa so was to wagon thing happen.
Oh, that incident cannot happen there again. The other also type of men cannot go there again. There are some of the things that I can't tell you here, but I can assure you without fear that we are very set and ready to go there and come out with flying colors. We are very set. We are going there with all the needed persons and resources.
I think the NDC needs to do that because I'm very sure.
We have done it. It's not that we are now even going to do it. I can assure you that.
I had a deputy national communications officer this morning on Radio Gold, and he spoke to the fact that the plan, and they've heard it. I am not privy to that. I don't know, but I listened to him. And he mentioned that the long-term plan is to bring down Speaker Bagbin. Have you heard that? Are you aware of such?
Well, I have not heard that, but I can assure you that anything that has been planted and established in its rightful sense can never be, taken away or destroyed by this government who is just about to to go out and be disgraced. And you see, there's something that they have not acknowledged or appreciated, that they are going to be the most shameless government that is ever going to leave this country. They have not acknowledged that or taking note of that. But definitely,
the NDC has the capacity to win the next election.
The 2024 elections?
Yes.
Oh. One thing that I don't do in my politics is to become complacent. But if I should be complacent today, I can tell you that even without whether being complacent or not, 2024 is a clear game. But the only thing is that we will not be complacent and lie low and not work. We will go and out and do everything that is reasonably possible to get the votes that we need and to get the support that we need, and also win the election clean and clear.
In the event that the NDC is overpowered by the EC and the MPP with the Ghana card issue.
Okay.
What will you do?
The Ghana card thing is a matter of, or is subject to legal arguments. First of all, it's not that the Ghana card is going to be used as the medium of voting in 2024. No. Rather, what they want to do is to use it as a medium to get registered. That is, if you haven't registered before. So myself, that I have my name on the roll, I don't need the Ghana card again for anything. All right, I can just go walk in and vote on that day without any Ghana card or any even voter ID card. Once the system,
you are not the one they are targeting. They're targeting other people.
Yeah, they are targeting. The target is for those who are yet to register. I mean, those who are now 2018 and those who couldn't get their names on the roll the last time. They are those that they want to use. They are trying to make the Ghana card the sole document to get yourself registered on when registrations are open or are being done. But I know that Parliament rejected that argument, and if they should lay that same thing again, I'm very certain that, you see, if you understand the parliamentary process very well, it is only when the speaker agrees that the thing should be part of the business of the day and to be late. That's why to be late. So if the speaker doesn't agree with you, you can't lay. Well, he's the person who chairs the business committee in Parliament. So
I have a lot of questions for you.
That's fine. I'm ready to answer.
This evening, I think we should do this again because, with all that is coming out, I'm going to ask my last question.
Very well.
I think I asked it. I asked it in a certain manner. I'm going to ask you for the very last time.
Okay.
Is the NDC ready?
We are very ready.
Okay.
We are very ready, and we are not leaving any stone unturned for 2024 elections, as well as for this by-election that we are going for. I can tell you that, if you look at how we have even done our campaign, even in Nasin whereby communities or electoral areas have been shared to various regional executives that people and constituencies that are trooping into campaign. As let's say, for instance, Adenta constituency. If Adenta constituency is living, let's say, Asimbeku, as you are living, then Bosutu constituency is coming into that same place to campaign for the NDC. We have worked, and I can say that from everything that I know of, the road is clear for us to retain the seat in Asimbeku. Likewise, from the things that I also know, and regarding preparations and everything that we are doing towards 2024, even though all has not been manifested yet, I know for sure that imagine the fact that for the first time, the NDC is going to go to this post with every constituency having a lawyer on that day. We've never done that before. The NPP have never done that before. The NDC have also not done that before. But this election 2024, every constituency in this country, Ghana, is going to have a lawyer to represent the NDC in that constituency. So every process that is going to happen in that coalition center, whatever, police, everything, these lawyers are going to be running around. We have all been assigned to various constituencies. I know my constituency, even as you sit here for 2024, I've been assigned already. So we are very ready, and we are, like I said, we are not leaving any stone unturned. We are going to make sure that everything that will get us the victory in 2024 is going to come up, and it's going to be done.
Well, lawyer, it's been such an exciting time with you on today's show. I hope that I'm sure our viewers want you back, and we will. Yeah, I'm sure they want you back, but we will have to book an appointment once again and find out if you can. We should do a part 2 of this program. I am particularly, I'm particularly very enthused. I can't wait to have part 2 of that. And with your permission, if only you won't be busy next week, we will talk behind the scenes and find out how your time, because we know that you're a very busy person, and so we've taken that into consideration. But lawyer, thank you so much for coming on this show. We don't know, we really appreciate you, and we are grateful that you've come and you've explained things to us. So all I want to say to the NDC fraternity is that lawyer says we are ready, so we will take his word for it. We are excited to welcome our father, the next president, the president in waiting, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to come and right all the wrongs that has been done in this country. And your voice, everybody's voice is needed. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who your father is. I mean, some of us, when they call us, we might not, our fathers or our parents, we are just from ordinary and average background, but we find our voices because this country, Ghana, belongs to all of us. And we can't let things happen to it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter, devoid of your political colors. When things go bad, it will affect everybody. It wouldn't affect only the opposition. So if you are part of the people who believe that unjust is being is taking place in the country as it stands, you need to rise up and vote massively. Vote for JDM. And I know that when he comes, things will be right. At least if you cannot boast of anything, we know that JDM built a lot of hospitals, government institutions were working, TOR was working. We don't even know the fate of TOR now. We don't even know the fate of TOR now. I am, as a young engineer, I would hope that when I go to Ghana, I'm not too young, but I'll go to Ghana and I have an opportunity. I can work in a place like TOR. But look at me. You don't have us people who are coming out of the university, the polytechnics, who are technicians, engineers. Your fate is unknown, because the very places that you're supposed to go and get employment to feed your family is on the ground. So come together, come on board, join the winning party, the NDC, National Democratic Congress, with His Excellency JDM for 2024. It's been nice sitting in today for Alfred. I hope that next week I'll also have the time, and then we will go through other topics. We will bring in more resource persons. So thank you for joining us. We'll come your way same time next week. I'll just take a few of your comments and then we'll wrap up. Yeah, Kweku King, good job, my love. Thank you, Kweku. Thank you so much. That day gonna be our second Independent Day. That is Ali Fofana. Thank you. They are planning violence on the election day. What is the NDC going to do about it? I think Lawyer has already explained to us what the NDC is doing. So it's been nice having you on the show today. Join us. We are happy. Next week, join us again for another fruitful and very very informative program. Bye, and see you next week.
Ranke muri inna anu